First of all, for those of you who are new, welcome to the channel. I am gonna preface this. I have made a couple of videos on Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, specifically Steel Ball Run, recently, and it's a show that I'm pretty freaking excited for, and I really liked the first episode. I think it did a lot of things well,
Are they
and
downstairs at all or no?
in recent sort of like news, they have sort of mentioned and given a trailer for the sort of like the next stage of it, which is kind of just bullshit inherently. I don't find that to be very appealing. The idea of stages potentially being the way that they release it. But regardless, we basically are getting the impression as a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure community that it is going to be in a batch format on Netflix instead of being a weekly format, sort of like the first 4 or 5 parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure were. And the common argument for why this doesn't really work for JoJo's or anime as a whole is it kills a lot of momentum that comes about because of a weekly sort of basis. When you have weekly releases, you have people getting enough time to sort of either meme it, talk about it, or theorize about the episodes and what occurred. You are giving them enough time to sort of just be within it instead of binging through an entire sort of like season, sort of like Stranger Things or things of those likes. Specifically, this is something that is, in my opinion, a fault of Netflix or a product of its overall existence. And it doesn't necessarily, at least in my opinion, work for community driven media such as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, animes in general. Like, it just, you drop something on people, they're gonna binge through it, and there's no room for it to. Sorry, I'm back. But basically, it does not make the best sort of viewing experience for a community as a whole when you just release it, dump it all at once.
Where?
And I've been seeing things that translators of the show, specifically a French one, he is disagreeing heavily with this sort of like dropping style. And again, it's not those people's faults. I've seen that prefaced a lot lately. Just it's not the sort of like creators of the show's fault. It is who is distributing it, and that is Netflix right now. And they are choosing to do it in a manner that is, I mean, like going to be binged if they do it in a batch format. With Stone Ocean, they specifically dropped one half and then the next half. And Stone Ocean did not go over well with the anime community, I would say. I think that is partially to blame because of how it was dropped. That is how most people will talk about Stone Ocean, was how it was released, not necessarily how it was, what was great about it, if the animation was good or not. It is specifically outshined by the sort of overall just dropping style for it, and people just really disliked it. I have enjoyed watching shows in a weekly sort of like format. It allows you to just sort of set aside 20 minutes in a week, watch the thing, let it sit there. Maybe you can theorize about it and sort of get excited over it. And then when it comes around the next week, you're hyped again and you get to watch it and you get to see things be solved or not solved, be left on cliffhangers. It's frankly an overall, in my opinion, more positive experience. This is going to sound wild, but I remember watching Buzz Lightyear Star Command or some show with my dad growing up, and it would just be every Saturday. I'd go into his room, we'd go and watch it, and it'd be super exciting. And I mean, the show is probably ass. Should probably go and like look back at Buzz Lightyear Star Command or whatever it was called. But it was enjoyable because you had that to look forward to. With a batch format, that's one thing that kind of gets removed. Another sort of an issue that I saw brought up with was specifically the medium that Steel Ball Run is set in. For those of you who did not watch the first episode or just don't know anything about it, it is a race across the United States, and some things unfold within that race. A lot of characters, a lot of things going on, but basically, it is constant. It is going. It is quick. It just does not stop. It's a rolling train that just should not be slowed down. And if it does slow down, it's typically in moments that you sort of have that what is it called? Overarching pressure that is throughout it. The fact that this race needs to be completed. The person who wins will walk away with a certain sum of money. and or, you know,
Hey,
undeniable
somebody's
power.
droning in oil. Somebody's droning in
And
oil.
I guess if you do a batch format of that, you are going to just
They
very
dropped.
clearly take away the potential for an artificial
He's one.
sort of like,
Yes.
I would say,
In here.
interest
In here.
being maintained
Good shit,
when
Blake.
everybody is still looking at the show. People will watch it, they will be done with it, and it'll be over.
I can watch oil.
I don't remember when the last
Somebody
season of
watch
Stranger
Patch.
Things dropped. It dropped. Second half of it dropped. Movie dropped, maybe. I might be thinking of, oh fuck, Attack on Titan. But it drops. People talked about it. People theorized that maybe there'd be more because they were dissatisfied, and that was it.
Got his ass. He's a
People will
bitch,
still
he's a bitch,
reference it
he's so
occasionally, just being a show that disappointed people, but is not talked about as something that was great or that the experience was awesome. It was simply released and then they moved on. I don't necessarily think that it's a. I don't know, honestly, what the purpose behind it would be, the sort of the positives of not releasing the weekly format, other than. I mean, I'm thinking about subscriptions and how
right?
like how you keep people subscribed or not subscribed,
Yeah,
but none of it's
he's got
really,
like a minute on that, bro. I
I
have two
guess,
things. Shoot the other one
indicating
if you can.
or going to be indicative
You gotta
of
go after
positives
shit
for
too.
the company themselves. It just, like, think about it. If you can spread the subscription across a year or 2 years with a weekly format, maybe just 52 episodes, it's over an entire year. You will have people pay for the entire year. You're not going to have people pay when it releases, go and watch it, and then maybe when the second batch comes out, they pay for it again. That in my brain is sort of the logic behind it. They will lose subscriptions because of it. Whatever. I hear people don't like Crunchyroll much, but they have a lot of animes on there that are on a weekly basis. I got a friend, he's been watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and I need to get on that. Every week he comes, says the newest episode was dope, and that it was 100% worth it, and it was the best one yet, whatever. Super excited about it. If we don't get that effect with Jojos, it is going to kill so much momentum and probably just leave people feeling, I'd say, dissatisfied and rushing through it, sort of binging it because it's accessible or because they just want to resolve it.
My bad, bros.
That is something that I have with a lot of animes,
Here, Blake.
and it sort of can get in the way. Like One Piece, for example. You start One Piece, your goal becomes to get through as much as possible during like all moments or throughout your days in order to get to where people people say you should be. You're in a race to beat Oda from finishing One Piece. Makes for an interesting experience, I'd say, because you can do it on your own time. Wherever you freaking find time, you can just watch it. But you're talking about 1,000 episodes that you have to get through. You will start to rush. You will start to, if you miss something, you're not enjoying it at a certain point. It's not an experience that you go through. Think about, YouTubers that you start watching and then you watch them for a long time. They grow with you. The show grows with you. You remember when you watched the episodes versus when you binge watched all of the episodes. You simply remember the gist of the show. There's no sort of like, I don't know, there's just something about the thoughts that you have after you watch an episode and it ends, it felt good, and then you wait a bit and then you go and watch it again. You know where you're at in those sort of like moments of time, and you lose that with this sort of batch format. And I don't think it's going to be advantageous for JoJo's. Will I still watch it 100%? I have been extremely excited about it, but it will to some degree have detriment on the community of JoJo's, as well as the sort of the effects that the show will have in the long run.